When I first got funded in 2020, prop firms were pretty much operating in secrecy. You didn't know how many traders were passing, you didn't know what kind of payouts they were receiving, and you really had no idea about the inner workings of firms. Well, it's now 2024, and firms have become a lot more forthcoming in terms of some of their data, their statistics, and even the inner workings of how these firms actually operate. And so, in keeping with these good vibes, today we're going to be sharing with you 3 statistics that I wish I had known when I was first trying to become a funded trader. When I was first trying to become a funded trader, one of the statistics that I wanted to know the most was, why are traders failing? What is it that the majority of traders are doing that is stopping them from succeeding, from receiving that funded account? And so we dove into all of the data since we first launched June 1st, 2022, and the results are actually pretty shocking. We're currently, as of this recording, offering 3 different programs: our 1-step, which we launched with, the standard classic 2-step evaluation, and then our industry-leading 3-step evaluation. So we looked at all of the data for all of these 3 programs to see exactly why traders are failing. So let's break it down by each. Starting off with the program that we launched with, our 1-step program. It has a 6% max static drawdown and a 5% daily loss limit with a target of 10%. So the question is, why are traders failing? Well, it turns out that 53% of traders are failing because they are hitting the maximum drawdown level. They are hitting the max drawdown of 6%. Now, this isn't necessarily shocking. Why else would traders be failing? Well, it turns out that an insane 34% of traders are failing because they are breaching the daily loss limit. That's right, over 34% of traders are failing because they are losing more than 5% in a single day. Now, if you're risk managed, this literally should never, ever happen. But unfortunately, it's happening a lot. So the question is, what is the remaining percentage of breaches coming from? Well, it turns out that the remaining breaches are coming from our 30-day inactivity rule. Now, unfortunately, we would love to remove this rule, but it's something that's enforced by the broker. But of course, the good news is 99.9% of the time, as long as the trader emails us when they first receive that breach email due to the inactivity, we can always reactivate it as long as the broker hasn't yet removed it from their server. So because those accounts get reactivated, it pretty much means that the breakdown of breaches stays valid. We have 53% hitting the max drawdown and 34% hitting the daily drawdown. The question is though, will things get better or will things get worse when we look at the gold standard 2-step program? Well, in some regards, when we looked at the numbers, things got better, but things also got worse. That's right. It turns out that on our 2-step program, which has a 10% max static drawdown and a 5% daily loss limit balance base, well, 42% of traders are breaching their accounts because, again, they're hitting the 5% daily loss limit. 42%, which is even worse than our 1-step program. Almost 50% of traders are failing because they're losing more than 5% in a single day. Now, this is absolutely insane, and it means for you watching, if you want to be better than 50% of traders, if you already want to put yourself in the top half of traders, all you have to do is not lose more than 5% in a single day. Literally just be risk managed and you'll already get better results than 50% of traders. It's wild. Moving on to the max loss limit though, at Lark, we would love to see a 100% of breaches coming from hitting the max drawdown because that means that traders are risk managed. But it turns out on our 2-step program, 46% of breaches are because of traders hitting the 10% max drawdown. That 46% is less than the 53% of traders that are hitting the max drawdown on the 1-step program. Pretty interesting. It sounds like traders are risking a little bit more on our 2-step program as compared to our 1-step program. Okay, so moving on to our industry-leading 3-step program, no daily loss limit and targets of 5%, 4%, 3%. Having no daily loss limit actually makes this statistic very, very interesting because if you're not hitting the daily loss limit, that means you can only breach the maximum loss limit, which is 5% static. So you would think that that would account for 100% of breaches, but actually no. It turns out 85% of breaches are coming from hitting the maximum loss limit on our 3-step program. The remaining are from traders using our surrender account feature. This is a feature where if you are not down more than 3.75%, you can surrender the account and you can receive a 75% discount code to take a new evaluation. So this is a feature that roughly 15% of traders are taking advantage of. We love to see it, and that is what is accounting for the rest of the breaches. Okay, next up, we're going to move on time to payout. How long does it take for a trader to sign up for an evaluation, to go on and receive a payout? Is it a week, 2 weeks? Is it 6 months? On average, how long is it taking? Because we're all signing up to make money. But the question is, how long is it going to take us to actually make that money? Well, let's go through each program. Starting off with our one-step evaluation. This one was very interesting. As we saw with the first numbers, it looks like traders are risking a little bit less. They're a little bit more risk managed on our one-step evaluation, and it shows with these numbers. That's right. On average, it takes from signing up to receiving a payout 92 days for somebody on our one-step program to receive a payout. 3 months. It means they're taking their time, they're being risk managed, and we love to see it. 92 days. But moving on to the standard two-step program, are things any different? Well, it turns out that things are actually quite different on our two-step program. Traders, on average, are signing up and receiving a payout 51 days, roughly 40 days less than on our one-step program. Now, I'm not exactly sure why this is. We would love to get your thoughts down in the comment section on why this is. I would imagine that the larger drawdown, as we saw in the first section, is allowing traders to risk a little bit more, and therefore they are passing faster. But perhaps the most interesting and surprising statistic that we found throughout all of our research for this video was the average time it takes to receive a payout on our three-step program. Now, most traders think, oh, 2 steps is hard enough, 3 steps is just going to be even more difficult. But it turns out that is not actually the case. That's right. From signing up for a 3-stage evaluation to receiving a payout, on average, it's only taking traders 32 days, just over a month, to receive a payout on our 3-step program. That is 2 months faster than on our 1-step, and even more surprisingly, our 3-step is priced the lowest. So I do think that is why we are seeing a ton of evaluation companies start to copy our 3-step program. None of them compare so far, but this is a really interesting statistic that I think traders should keep in mind in terms of how long it's going to take to receive a payout. It's very realistic numbers to keep in mind. Lastly, we wanted to take a look at what countries are the most profitable. Where are the best traders coming from? Because if you're on Twitter, sometimes it looks like the US, sometimes it looks like the UK, maybe it could be Nigeria, where there is a massive trading community. So we looked at the top 5 countries, and honestly, the numbers were quite surprising. That's right. It turns out, and I must say I'm a little bit proud of this, as of 2023 to early 2024, the most profitable and successful traders are actually from Canada. That's right, we, Lark Funding, are located in Canada, so we're a little bit biased in terms of our excitement and happiness for this one, but as of now, Canada is number 1. But number 2 was actually incredibly close. It was almost a tie, and the second spot, even more surprisingly, is Singapore. I don't know if Singapore has a huge trading community, but we have processed some payouts that were quite substantial for traders in Singapore. So as of now, the second placed country is Singapore. In the third spot, getting the bronze medal, this one is not surprising. It is the UK, the United Kingdom. Huge trading community. Forex is absolutely massive over there, and so that's where we are seeing some of the best traders come from. Number 4, also not surprising, we have the United States. There are tons of traders in the US that are taking advantage of evaluation firms, and so this one wasn't surprising as well. At number 5, we do have a huge shock. Again, I'm not throwing any shade or anything to this country. It's great to see these countries that were unexpected. Number 5, we have Norway. Norway is currently sitting at the 5th spot for the most profitable country for traders. We'd love to hear in the comment section what you guys think of these stats, what you guys think of the top 5 countries when it comes to profitability. Were any of these surprising? If you made it this far, we appreciate it. Also, let us know what a video and what prop firm statistic you would like to see next. And of course, if you made it this far, we'll see you in the next one. Until then, peace.